20 ways to regain focus and life with more intent. Tip number 1. Schedule your bedtime. Train your mind to fall asleep by going to bed at the same time every day. Tip number 2. Turn off your devices. When you want to focus on something, turn off all notifications and devices for less distraction. Tip number 3. Exercise. Research shows that when you exercise, you are more likely to increase the control of your mind. Tip number 4. Assign unplugged time. Have a time range when you choose to disconnect from all electronic devices. That could be in the morning before going to work, during meals, or an hour before bed. Tip number 5. Meditate. Meditation is the practice of observation. Observe your thoughts for 10 minutes every day without analyzing or judging them. Tip number 6. Read. Reading is a great way to increase your ability to focus and pay attention to one task at a time. Tip number 7. Make a list. When you find yourself being distracted by a thought, instead of Googling it, write it down and go back to it after your task. Tip number 8. Pay attention to your emotions. Pay attention to your feelings and shift your mind to something more positive when you feel triggered. Tip number 9. Have a bedtime ritual. 1 hour before bed, turn off all screens, and read a book or take a bath. Tip number 10. Clean up your social media. Unfollow people who trigger you and follow those who lift you. It can be that simple. Tip number 11. Go for a ride. Whether it is in a car, on a motorcycle, or a bicycle, enjoy your own company by turning off all sounds and just paying attention to the road. Tip number 12. Plan a silent retreat. Retreat from daily life for an hour or a whole weekend. During that time, disconnect from electronics and learn to spend time with yourself. Tip number 13. Go for a walk. Leave your music and devices in the car or at home. Take this opportunity to connect with nature, get some fresh air, and empty your mind. Tip number 14. Create a tech-free room. It could be a spare room that you transform into a meditation room or remove all electronics from your bedroom. Tip number 15. Join a course. Why not enroll in a local class? That way, you will spend your time focusing on learning something new with other people. Tip number 16. Host a board game night. Board games are always an excellent option when you want to spend some quality time with friends and family. Tip number 17. Ignore your phone's notification. It's time for you to retrain yourself. From now on, use the notifications of your phone as a reminder to be in the present moment. Just breathe. Tip number 18. Monitor your screen time. You could find more time and energy if you are more aware of your screen time. Tip number 19. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness can be focusing on your breathing experience by taking deep breaths. Tip number 20. Do a social media cleanse. For 24 hours, remove all social media apps from your phone.